So in projection of solids, let us see the question number 1. Okay, so what is given in this question? It is a regular square pyramid. I'm telling you, whenever you see pyramid, just remember Egypt pyramids. Okay, having 35 base side. The square base is 35 millimeter side and 65 millimeters axis length. So axis length is 65 millimeters. Rest on HP on one of the edges of the base. So axis is 65 millimeters length and the solid is resting on HP on one of its edges of the base. Okay, which is inclined. What is inclined? The edge of the okay, axis length rests on HP on one of its base and axis is inclined at VP 30 degrees. I mean, axis is inclined to VP at 30 degrees and the axis is inclined to HP at 45 degrees. So what do we have now? First one, it is a regular square pyramid of 35 millimeter base. Axis length is 65 millimeters, resting on HP on one of the edges, and this particular edge, what you see, is inclined at 30 degrees to VP. So what is inclined to VP? That is edge. Edge is inclined at 30 degrees to VP and axis is inclined to HP at 45 degrees. So axis is inclined to HP at 45 degrees and the edge of the base is inclined at 30 degrees to vertical plane. Okay, so let me write down the data first, so then we can discuss. Okay, so just to just as a revision, I'll just do all the settings in this. Okay, so first we'll go for units and check it. Okay, so then we just go to snap settings. Okay, this is 5. Okay, so one thing that I should have done is object snap. Just check everything is there. Okay, so now let me.
Is not on, sir. Yeah,
Okay, so let me just change the dimension styling also. Extend beyond dimension lines, we can just give it as 5. Offset from origin, let me give it as some 2 or 3 anything is good. So symbols and arrows, arrowhead size is 5. Or we can take it as 6. It should be above dimension text. Okay, then text, go to standard. So let me specify the height of the text as 5 default. Okay, so then I'll just give the color as green. So for dimensioning it will be easy. Okay, so above centered and offset from dimension line, again let me give it as 3. So primary units, let me have it as a dot instead of comma. So angle, even if you don't have this, it is still fine. Okay, so set current and close. Okay, so we are good to go with the first question. So before that, let me just draw boundaries so that I remember what are my page boundaries. Okay, so after that, see, many are forgetting to write this note. Remember, you have to write this note and never mention in the dimension. Please don't write in dimension. Okay, so just mention this note, and once you mention this note, you don't have to write in every dimension. Okay, again this is our question number 1 that we are going to solve now, and let me tell you, if you solve this question, I mean if you understand this question properly, that will be helpful for question number 4 as well as 9. Okay, so if you understand how to solve this question number 1, question number 4 and 9 will be almost same, okay, except the change in shape. So first let me write what is given. First let me write what is given in the question. So what is given? So step 1, see, just like planes, we are going to write everything in steps. Step 1, they said it is a square pyramid. Remember, please write this pyramid properly. Okay, square pyramid of 35 base side. That means the size of the square is 35 millimeters and axis height is 65 millimeters. Okay, so this constitutes part of my step 1, not completely, and it is resting on HP on one of its edges. Here edges is base edge. Okay, so this all data is my step 1. So this particular data will be my step 1. Yeah, so now coming to step 2. Step 2, they are saying axis is inclined at, what is the angle? Axis is inclined at 45 degrees to 45 degrees to horizontal plane. So if you remember projection of planes properly, so whenever you have it is resting on HP, step 2 will be also with respect to HP. So when step 1 it is resting on HP, step 2 will also be with respect to HP, and step 3 obviously will be with respect to vertical plane. So edge where it is resting is inclined at 30 degrees to vertical plane. So if you can just do this from the question, I think you are almost like 50% done with the question. If you can identify the data first, this is most important thing. If you can identify the data first, you are almost good to go with the question. So now let me just show you how to solve. See, most of the things will remain same, just like your projection of planes. There are few changes in this, very few changes in this. So if you can understand and adapt to those few changes, projection of solids will not be difficult at all. Okay, so just try to concentrate on the few changes. See, whenever I'm telling you something, I'll give in comparison with planes so that you can understand and remember that easily. Okay, yeah, so I am done with my reference line. Okay, what should I do first? Once I have divided the question into 3 parts, the first part will be to draw the shape of it. Okay, now again, this square I can draw it in 2 different ways, starting with a corner or starting with a edge. We have learned this in projection of planes. Now how to start here? Just see this. It is resting on one of its edges. So end with the edge. Remember, end with the edge. In planes, we used to start with wherever it is resting. In solids, we will end with wherever it is resting. I'm repeating it again. In planes, we used to start with wherever it is resting. In solids, we will end with wherever it is resting. For suppose here it is resting on an edge. So I'll end my square here. It is resting on the edge. So I'll end my square by resting it on the edge. Okay. So it is side 35 millimeters. So what I do from here, okay, let me take it a bit here. So side 35 millimeters. So I'll take 35 millimeters. Okay, so first I draw 35 millimeters edge and then I complete my square. Done. So I have completed my square. I told you, as this is a pyramid, apex is given by the name O. The point below the apex, that is on the base, is given by O1, and the base sides are given by A, B, C, D. Okay, so here I have drawn the square, but when it is a pyramid, I can even see those slant edges here, correct? So we have to draw the slant edges also. Okay, so I have drawn the slant edges also. Okay, so now let me give the names then. So see, initially it might look a bit confusing. The only difference between solids and planes and solids is the number of points you see there will be less, but here the number of points that you see will be more. Okay, so whenever you are giving name, just remember we have to go either in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. So A, then B, then C, so then D. So I have given the names for the base. Now on the top I have apex, but remember below the apex there is one more point, that is the other end of axis. Okay, that is O1. I told you apex is O, and the point exactly below that, the axis point, is O1. See, you can see that in the next step. Okay, so before that let me just give some line thickness to it. Okay, so this is how I start. How did I start? I know it is a square pyramid, so I draw the square base. Now how to draw this square? Should I start with a corner or edge? How do I identify that? If it is resting on edge, end with the edge. It should end with the edge. If it is resting on corner, it should end with a corner. In planes, what we used to do is, if it is resting on edge, we used to start with edge. If it is resting on corner, we used to start with corner. Okay, so that's how we used to do in planes, but in solids we should end with that. Okay, you know, the other way how to remember this is, in our syllabus we start with the planes and then end with the solids, correct? So just remember that, start with the planes, so wherever it is resting, start with that point or edge, I mean that corner or edge in planes. Solids is at the end, so just end where it is resting. Okay, that's how you can remember that. So once I draw this, the next step will be, so to draw these points, every point has to be, okay, every point has to be marked up. Okay, from every point we are supposed to, okay, what's happening with this? Okay, so we should draw from each and every point. Okay, so draw it from each and every point. Yeah, so now I made sure that I'm drawing from each and every point. Okay, now how to name this? Before that, I just have to draw the axis. You know what is the axis height? Axis height is 60. Remember, axis has to be drawn from this point only. So this point is my O1 here. What the point that you see here is O1. Okay, the point that you see here is O1, and we have to draw the axis height from O1, and axis height is 65 millimeters. Okay, now axis is actually a dash line, correct? How to do that? So let me change it. So let me load. Okay, so any dash and dot line should be good for me. Okay, so I'll change this to dash and dots line. Okay, so this is how I'll draw the axis. Please remember to draw the axis in the same way even in your book. Okay, so please make sure that you draw the axis, and remember axis is always perpendicular to xy for our problems. Okay, now on the top you just got the other point O. Now I told top point of axis is O and the bottom point axis is O1. So this is how you can see it. So as this is front view, just give it as O prime, and this is top view, just give it as O1 prime. After getting this, the next step is to join the top to all corners. Okay, so join from there to here. I told you, if it is a prism, you see a triangle in the top. If it is a pyramid, you see a triangle in the top. If it is a pyramid, you see a rectangle in the top. Okay, now how to give the names here? Whenever you are giving name in the front way, just imagine as if you are looking from the bottom. So when you look from the bottom, first you see the point D, correct? So first you see the point D, so write the point D. Behind the point D we have A. Okay, so that's how this point can be named. So this point will be D prime in bracket A prime. And the other point, when you see from here, first you can see the point C, so give the name as C prime, and behind the C you have B, so give the name as P prime. So this is how we can give the names here. So after that we just have to darken these. Okay, what is this line here? So we just have to make them dark just to show that these are our lines. Remember, axis doesn't have to be dark. Okay, axis should not be dark. So just remember that one thing, that axis should not be dark. Okay, oh sorry. So axis should not be dark. Only the lines should be dark, axis should not be dark. So this is how you can complete your step 1. What did I just do? First I draw a square and I draw the slant edges, and after that I have just completed the first step. Now the second step is axis is inclined at 45 degrees to horizontal plane. So what is given? Axis is inclined at 45 degrees to horizontal plane. Now how to find that? So let us see that now. First, take and draw a line at 45 degrees to this. Okay, so take a random length of the line and just draw 45 degrees here. Okay, so this is a 45 degrees line. Okay, so this is a 45 degrees line. So before that, let me give another dimensions here. The side of the square is 35 millimeters and the height of the axis is 65 millimeters. So these are the two dimensions that should be given in the first step, and this dimension can be given in the second step. Now just think of this, how to give, how to draw this particular axis onto this line. This is what we are really supposed to do. But just imagine this, if this line, if this particular line is inclined at 45 degrees, what about this one, the base? So if the vertical axis is 45, this base will be 45 in this direction, correct? So the base will be in 45 in this direction, correct? These two are perpendicular to each other, just like these two. So if axis is on this line, the base should be on this line. Now if I start with the axis, the question will be, how would I find the point where it is resting, C prime, B prime? How can I find that? So it will be difficult to find that. So for pyramids, the one thing that we can do simply is, whenever they give axis inclination, take 90 minus of that axis inclination. Okay, 90 degrees minus of that axis inclination. Here the axis is inclined at 45 degrees, so take 90 minus of that 45 degrees. So 90 minus 45 will be 45. So take 45 degrees in this way. Okay, take 45 degrees in this way. Again, some random length. I'll show you where the 45 is. When you use protractor, make sure the angle is 45 degrees here. Okay, how did I get this 45 degrees? 90 degrees minus axis inclination will give me this angle. Okay, so finally I'll show you how, by taking this, how are we going to get the axis inclination. Okay, so start with this, then name the leftmost point as C prime B prime. What I'm doing is complete triangle, I'm just rotating it clockwise by 45 degrees. That's what I'm doing now. This is vertical, I'll just rotate it by clockwise 45, so I'll get the triangle here. So once I get this, then take your compass and measure this base. take your compass and measure this base from C prime to D prime. Okay, so after measuring that, using your compass, C prime as the center and 35, whatever the C prime D prime length that you have measured using compass, draw an arc. Okay, so the other point you get there is D prime A prime. Okay, the other point you get there is D prime A prime. Now how to find O1 prime? Simple, half of that complete length will be C prime O1 prime. Okay, again, how can I do that? Take your compass, measure this particular length, measure this particular length, that is 17.5 here. Okay, so take your compass from C prime as a center and that measured length, using that measured length, draw an arc. So once you draw an arc, you get the center and that point is O1 prime. So now you have to draw a line which is perpendicular to this. Okay, you have to draw a line which is perpendicular to the base. And what should be the height of that line? See, even if you can't draw the line perpendicular, there is another way for that. Simple, measure what is C prime O1 prime, C prime O prime. So measure this length using your compass from C prime, draw an arc of that length, that is 67.31. So what I'm doing, I'm just drawing an arc. Do the same from D prime O prime also. Again, take your compass as D prime as the center. Where is the D prime here? Yeah. So D prime as the center, draw an arc with a length 67.31 that is measured by my compass. Okay, so that's how I get my point O prime. See, now I got all the points. So what will be my next duty? Just to join all the points here. Okay, so the next thing will be, I'll just join this O with O1. Okay, this will be my axis. So remember, always axis has to be mentioned there. Okay, so always remember axis has to be mentioned like this. So don't forget, axis has to be mentioned always like this. And after that, we can just make the other things dark. Okay, so the other lines, we just make it dark. So what did I just do now? I have rotated this complete figure by 45 degrees. So now if you see, I told you in the starting, we can get the axis inclination as 45. See, so initially I started with 90 minus 45 here. So I got 45 here. If it is 30, I'll take 90 minus 30 here. So I'll get 30 degrees here. If it is 60 here, I'll take 90 minus 60 here. Okay, so that's how we can do it. So this is just half of step 2. Now how to continue with that? So to continue further, from O prime, so from O prime, draw a line till it meets O. Okay, that will be your new O. Okay, so from O1, where is that O1? So O1 is, okay, so from O1, so you will get till O1. Then from A to A. Okay, so that is from A to A. Then from B to B, that will be your new B. Then extend this particular line till here, you will get C. Okay, that is C. Then extend the same till here, you will get D. So let me give the names. So this is my A. See, naming is very important. Please don't make any mistakes with that. That is my B. So this particular thing is C. And this is D. And now remember, where is O and O1? So this is my O. So I'll just edit it. This particular point is O and this particular point is O1. Okay, so this particular point is O1. Now here, from here on, we'll have the confusion of hidden lines. Till now we never had hidden lines till here, but the next 3 steps we are going to have hidden lines. Now, how to draw the hidden lines? I'll give you 2 tips. First one, join all the outer boundaries first. Join all the outer boundaries first like this. Okay, so what did I just do? I have joined outer boundaries. So let me just make it dark so that you'll identify what is that I have drawn. I have just drawn the outer boundary of the figure. That's it. That's what I have done. Okay. Next, when you see from the top, see from O, all 4 corners are joined, correct? So from O, there should be a line joining A, and from O, there should be a line joining D also. So from apex, each and every corner has to be joined. Okay. And there is one more line joining from B to C. How do we get these lines? Simple. One thing that you have to remember is there should be a face loop, that is A, B, C, D and A should be joined, that is face loop. And from the apex, each and every corner should be joined, and there should be a line joining. There should be a line joining O and O1, which is my axis. So let me repeat this again. So what are the different lines? What's happening? Yeah, what are the different lines that we have? First one is face loop. That is the ABCD face has to be covered. So I have covered ABCD. Okay, that's face loop. Second, from the apex, each and every corner has to be joined. From apex to O, apex to B, apex to C, apex to D. That is my second loop. Third one is the axis. Okay, if you join all this, the face loop from the apex and axis, you are done with all the lines. Now, out of these lines, which line should be hidden? One thing that you can easily remember is outer lines can never be hidden. Just remember that the outer boundary can never be hidden. Whatever is there inside, only they can be hidden. But in that also, which are hidden and which are not. To identify this, just see here. So this is the top view, correct? Top view of what? Top view of this particular figure. So when I need the top view, I just need to see from the top. So when I see from the top, can I see the line joining O and A? Yes, I can see that in the top. So I'll just make it continuous dark. Okay. Now when I see from the top, can I see the line OD? Yes, see D is here and O is here. I can see that line also. So I'll make that also continuous and dark. Now, when I see from the top, can I see this line BC? From the top, can I see the line BC? No, because already there is a phase on the top. This line is at the bottom, so this won't be visible to me. Okay, so that particular line will be hidden line. Okay, now hidden lines are a bit different. So let me just go take a hidden line here. Okay. Okay. So this particular line, we can make it as hidden line. Okay. Yeah, so now you can see this is hidden lines here. Okay, so this is the only line hidden in the question. Okay, now what about the axis? Again, axis has to be this dash and dot line always. Okay, there's no option for axis. So now I have found out which are hidden lines, which are continuous lines, and which are axis lines. So this is how I complete my step 2. Okay, now the step 3, the final step, the edge where it is resting is inclined at 30 degrees to vertical plane. How to know where it is resting? Simple. See, the edge which is on the reference line is where it is resting. It is resting on the edge CB. Okay, so now in the final step, what do I need to do? I just need to draw a line which is at 30 degrees. See, I can draw the line in this direction, or I can draw a line in this direction. For me, for solids, the simpler way is to draw it backwards. Okay, simpler way is to draw it backwards. Okay, so just remember this has to be 30. Where the inclination is 30, I can show it here. So the inclination is 30 degrees here. Okay, so inclination is 30 degrees. Now, when I draw this particular line CB on this, there is a chance that AD may go above this. So for those particular cases, what I do is I'll draw a line parallel to it. You know, even if I draw starting a line from here, and even if I draw like this, you know, the angle is still 30. I can still maintain the angle as 30. You don't have to start on this always. Okay, you don't have to start on that always. So even this angle is also 30. So now what I can do is I can simply draw CB first on this, then complete the entire figure. Okay, so I'll delete this 30 degrees for some time. First thing that I do is first let me take a random point. Okay, so let me take a random point on this line and let me name it as point B. Okay, that particular point is point B. What did I do? First I have drawn a line at 30 degrees, then I have taken a random point and marked it as point B. Next thing that I do is to find C, take your compass, measure from B to C, so keep the center as B, draw an arc with that length. Okay, so measure BC, draw an arc with that length on the new line, you'll get the point C. Okay, so what did I just do? First I have taken a random point B, then cut an arc, you'll get the point C. Okay, so I have drawn this particular line on this. So let me just shorten this line to exact length. Okay, so that I see, you don't have to do this in the paper. This is just I'm doing for simplicity here. Okay, so I'll mark it hidden. Remember, whatever is hidden here will be hidden here also. Whichever is continuous here will be continuous here. And remember one more thing, even the hidden line should be dark. Okay, except the axis, all the lines here should be dark. Even the hidden line should be dark. Okay, so first I have started with that and found out what is B and C. So what will be my next step? Next step is to find the other points. You know, when you know 2 points, you can find all the other points. How can we do that? Simple. First, take your compass. Okay, measure what is A to B. Okay, if you see properly, A to B will be equal to C to D. Okay, so the next thing that, so first let me draw the arc and later on I'll see that. So from B I'll draw a line, I'll draw an arc, sorry, at 25.13. See, you don't have to read these values when you're using compass. So I don't have compass, so I'm just using this method. So from C also I'll do, that is for A and this will be for D. The value is 25.13. Enter. Okay, so I have drawn two arcs. The next thing that I'll do is measure B to D. So measure B to D. What is that value? 43.01. If you know properly, C to D is also same. Okay, C to D value will also be same. Again, take your compass. From B, draw an arc with 43.01. Enter. See, I got the point D here. So that particular point is D. With the same length, cut an arc from C also. Okay. From C also cut an arc 43.01. Done. So I got the point A here. I got the point A. So next thing that I need to find out is O1. So see, this is all your compass game. Just take your compass and find out each and every value. So it is 21.34. So from B, I'll draw an arc with 21.34. Okay, so I'm just drawing an arc like this. I'll do the same from C also because it is symmetric, so the length will be same. It's 21.34. Done. So that's where I get the point O1. So this particular point is my O1. The final thing is to find point O. Again, to do that, measure from B to O, 37.96. You don't have to do this in your book. Okay, simply take your compass, measure this using the same length from B, draw an arc. 37.96, draw an arc. Okay, so from C also the length remains same. So from C also it will be 37.96. Draw an arc wherever these two meet. That will be my point O. Okay, so you don't need this length now. So this is point O. So once you got this, next thing is simply join all them. So I told you how to draw it so that you don't miss anything. First thing will be draw draw the base first. Okay, I told you complete the loop. Okay, the loop is the base loop here, A B C D. Okay, just the base loop. So this particular is first one. Second is join apex to each and every corner. So just make sure you are joining each and every corner to apex. A to B, O to C, then O to D. Okay, the last one is join apex the axis. Okay, the apex to the axis. Okay, so first draw the base, then draw lines from apex to each and every point, then axis. Final thing is just see the previous step. Whichever is continuous, just make them continuous. Whichever is hidden, just make them hidden. Whichever is axis, just make it axis. You know, both looks exactly the same except it is rotated by some angle. Here the angle is 30 degrees. See this, the angle is 30 degrees. Okay, so this will be step 3. So after that, if you are not comfortable with these lines, you can always delete this axis, I mean the curves here, whatever you have drawn, arcs. Okay, to find out the points, whichever. See, this makes the figure a bit beautiful, I mean to look at least, so that you don't have any unnecessary stuff in this. Okay, so you can just remove all the arcs over here. Done. So this completes my step 3, I mean the part of step 3. How to go for the final? Again, just like planes, from O to O prime, just draw a line. Okay, why am I getting 2? Okay, so from O to, okay, so that is my new O prime. That is my new O prime. Okay, do the same for all the points. Okay, so from O to O prime, so that will be our O1 prime. So I got my O1 prime here. So same way, find out what is A. So A will be from there, that will A, and the next line will be D here. Okay, so that is D. Next, find out B is on the reference line, so simply join it to reference line. C is also on reference line, simply join it to the reference line. Okay, so identifying the names is very important. If you made a mistake in this, you know, whatever you draw, you'll get absurd shapes in this. So this is your A. So whenever you are giving name, just check it once again. You know, it's worth a recheck here, because as you have many points, there are good number of chances that you can make mistakes in this. Okay, so just make sure that you don't make such mistakes when you are doing these questions, because you are just going to solve one single question in the exam. So that one single question has to be proper. Again, so how to make sure you are drawing all lines? First, complete the loop: A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to A. So this is one loop. The second loop will be from A to A to B, sorry, O to B, O to B, O to C, O to D, okay, and the final line will be O to O1. And always remember O1 will be the axis, whatever it is, okay. So O1 line is always going to be the axis, whatever it is. Okay. Now the next thing comes here. What are the lines which are hidden in this? See, when you are drawing the front view, remember as if you are seeing it from the bottom. Okay. So imagine as if you are seeing it from the bottom. So when you see from the bottom, can I see the line OC? Yes, I can see the line OC. So I'll make it dark straight away. So the line OC, I'll make it dark. Can I see the line CD? Yes, I can see the line CD. I'll make it dark. Can I see the line OD here? Yes, I can see that because from the base, those are the lines which are first visible to me. And I told you the border can never be hidden. So I'll just mark the border. So when I see from here, can I see the point OA? Yes, because that is the top line. I can even see that. Okay. But just imagine this. Can I see the line AD and BC? That's where the question comes for me. So simply make these lines hidden, whichever you can't see them. Okay, there's one more way of identifying this. I'll tell you, but not now. Okay, so let us just practice with the visualization thing. Once you are good with like 2-3 questions, I'll give you one more method where you don't even have to visualize anything. Just based on the axis position, you can identify the lines which are hidden. Okay, so this completes the question. What did we just do? We have just projected a a square pyramid where the axis is inclined at 45 degrees to HP and the side is inclined at 30 degrees to vertical plane. Okay, so this completes the question number 1. Based on this question, you can try question number 4 as well as 9. They are exactly same. Only difference is here the base is a square. In question number 4, the base is a pentagon. The question number 9, base is a hexagon. That's the only difference. Other than that, everything is same. Okay, the concept is same. That's what I mean to say. Remember one thing, always end with wherever it is resting. Okay, always end with wherever it is resting. This is the only different thing from planes. Other than that, almost everything remains the same. Okay.